On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes. And I'm starting off strong. Just realized I'm holding my notes upside down.
Perfect.
It's going to be a great show.
What do they say? I mean, Mercury's in retrograde, which sometimes I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, it is.
It fully is. But you know what? It better be upside down because we were just together.
Upside down.
Upside down. We spent the whole weekend together.
We did. We got to do a lot. We got to do a lot of running around and thrifting. We got to eat In-N-Out twice, which is my favorite thing. Introduce our friend Alyssa to Grey Gardens. She had never seen Grey Gardens.
Oh my gosh. That is a movie to introduce someone to because
a classic.
A classic. It blows their mind.
And to clarify, it's that you got to watch. Okay, here's the order you have to watch it.
Okay.
You'll agree.
Okay.
You have to watch the 1975 documentary, Grey Gardens.
Of course. That's the foundation for everything.
You watch that, and then you're going to go ahead and watch the parody starring Fred Armisen and Bill Hader.
Yes, the documentary now.
Third and final is going to be, you're going to watch the movie with Jessica Lange and Drew Barrymore.
Yes.
Called Grey Gardens also. I just don't want people to get confused and go watch the Drew Barrymore one and think that that's Grey Garden. That is not it. You got to watch the documentary first.
Or watch the parody first. That would be crazy because there is such a good twist at the end. Scary.
Yeah. It's a good one. It is a good one. But yeah, we got to do it. Actually, I thrifted this shirt while we were there.
Love. Yes. I thrifted a couple sweatshirts, but wait, really quick, back to Grey Gardens for just a second. Whenever we watch anything that we like, Death Becomes Her, kind of anything, and somebody else is there, they always say, "Oh, that's you guys." And specifically Grey Gardens, they're like, "Oh, that'll be you guys." I don't know how I feel about that.
You know, I think just when all is said and done, it's you and I.
You and I against the world, okay?
Against the world. And the Geoffs, of course.
Oh, yes. An eye for an eye. We're all in this together.
Yeah, but then, I mean, we are going to end up with all our antiquing, all of our thrifting. We're going to end up hoarders one day, probably, unless we get into the business of estate sales. I would love to talk about this estate sale that we went to. It was in your neighborhood. It was this older man, very unassuming.
Oh, the older man we're talking about. I thought we were going to talk about the other estate sale. Okay.
No, I'm talking about the one where we went, and not only did he have sexy dice for sale and a boob mug, but he also brought out a whip and said, "What do you think of this?"
Love him. I saw signs for this estate sale because I walk my dogs past his house. And then the day we were together, we saw it and we're like, okay, let's go. Such a cute little unassuming, looks like an old person lives their house with all the little trinkets, and never knew that inside it was just sexual.
Yeah.
And I saw him last night, by the way.
You did?
Yes. He didn't see me. And this is
You went
creepy.
back for the whip.
I didn't go back for the whip, but I walked Desi and Doris past his house, and it was our night walk. And at night, what I love about night walks is that, especially when it's hot out, everybody's windows are open, their blinds are open, their screen doors are shut, but their doors are open. You know, you can see everything. And I saw him propped up in a lazy boy in front of his TV, just watching TV.
Oh, well, my coffin spinner has a lazy boy in it with a wild story. So I'm actually so happy you just said that.
You want to know something else that's crazy? I literally, Cisco and I fight all the time about furniture. He wants a couch a specific way. I want a couch a specific way. And the other day, I think Alyssa was here with her husband. And I was like, if it were up to you, there would be just two lazy boys sitting right in front of the TV, and that would be it. And they both, Cisco and Alyssa's husband, were like, fuck yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Those things are great. And I wanted to scream.
The champ and I have been super into watching House Hunters the past couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that this weekend, and I turned to you and was like, did you know that the people actually have already a house bought and then they just tore two other ones? And you looked at me and you're like, yeah, I fucking told you that.
Well, that's what someone told me years ago. I knew this woman and her neighbor was on it, and she's like, she already owned the house and like was actively, working on it when they shot the show.
Oh, God.
So I don't know. Maybe things have changed. I was looking. There's like hundreds of seasons of that show.
Really?
Yes.
I remember watching it. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. I remember watching it in like middle school, like HGTV. And that was 100 years ago. So,
well, it's so funny because like I'll watch and okay, the one we watched the other night drove me nuts. So it was in Long Beach, which like you and I know, love. It was this couple and they were choosing between 3 different houses. And most of the time I'm like disagreeing with everyone the entire time. I'm like, wrong. No, you're not right.
Right.
I'm right. Well, you and I are so particular about house things.
Yeah.
So we're watching it and the first house, they're like, oh, this is not, we really don't like the outside of this house. It was a beautiful 1920s Spanish home.
Oh.
And they're like, we don't like this at all. Their budget was $400,000, by the way.
So wait, already you're pissed off. But $400,000, how long ago?
2016.
Okay.
So they see this Spanish. It reminded me of Betty Bungalow. Looked exactly like her on the outside. Probably a similar-ish square footage. Like, well, no, Betty Bungalow might have been even a little bigger than this house. And Betty Bungalow was a small gal.
Yeah.
But so cute. And I die for a Spanish house. You know that. Mm-hmm. It's like one of my favorite styles.
Yeah, same.
So they're like, yeah, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. They want to be near the beach is their whole thing. And so they go to that one. They see that one. They don't like it. But then they go to see this other one. And this one was like 8 miles from the beach. So I'm like, okay, this had to be hella far north. Like the northest you could be in Long Beach probably. But the house was cool, mid-century-ish, huge open kitchen, which is what the husband wanted. And they're like, yeah, I don't know about this one. It's so far from the beach. And then the third one was a 600 square foot craftsman house.
Okay.
600 square feet, but it's charming inside. It is
all the
cute.
craftsmen are. They're so small, but God, they're so cute.
Well, tell me why they end up going with the craftsman, which in my opinion was probably the worst choice out of the 3 houses.
Okay.
And I love a craftsman.
Yeah.
It was so small. Well, they go back at the end, and at the end of those episodes, they'll show you where the house is currently and how it looks in current day or whatever. Like, I think it's shot like a month after they buy it or whatever. So they're doing all this construction on it. She had ripped out all of the craftsman built-ins.
No.
There was like beautiful
Why?
built-ins with drawers and stuff, and she ripped them out.
Why?
And when they were touring the house, she had told the realtor, she was like, oh, well, that takes up about a foot of space. I guess we could rip that out. And the real estate agent was like, well, I mean, that's kind of like, that's the craftsman charm, and it's making use of the space because there's drawers and it's storage. And she's like, well, what if I wanted to have some, I think her name was Denise. Like, what if I wanted to have Denise charm?
Of course.
And I'm like, oh my God, you're going to ruin
Denise.
this house. You're going to put gray floors in here. It's 2016. You're going to put gray floors.
Barn
like everything
doors.
they were pointing out too that they loved. Yeah, barn doors. Everything that they were pointing out about the houses that they were touring, I was like, you're going to ruin this house. Because they were like, oh, I love the granite here. And I love this. And I love the floors in here. And it's like the gray floors or whatever. And I'm like, no, don't do it to the craftsman.
It makes me so mad. I feel like, there's like historical societies, and those can be annoying. I understand in neighborhoods, right? It's like, oh, you have to go through a bunch of things to change things.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it so much because people
too.
come in and fuck up the charm. Like, these are pieces of history that should stay the same. Same with a mid-century home.
Yes.
Like when people rip out beautiful tile bathrooms. And you're like, what? Go get a new
That
build
is
somewhere.
the worst. So you remember I lived in that really cool neighborhood with the Eichlers in it and stuff when I lived before we moved out here. Beautiful mid-century homes, and all of them were so pristine except for this one person at the end of the block did like an addition at some point where they built a second floor on top of it, and it was the eyesore of the neighborhood. And I get it. I get the sentiment of like, well, if I bought the house, I'm going to do whatever I want to it.
Yeah.
I get it. You are within your right to do so, but I can't tell you that I'm not sitting there judging online when people do things like, here's how we flipped this old house, like flipping these old houses and like literally ripping the charm out of them and making them so basic.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
I hate it.
I felt like that. I lived in a Spanish house before the house I live in, and it was 1926. They kept so much charm, and it was wonderful. But then there were certain things like the kitchen. It was modern, too modern. And then the bathroom was too modern. But they did keep like some arch stuff. But I'm like, if I were to go in, I would fully try to bring it back to like 1920s. I just don't understand. Like, the house is telling you what it is. Don't try to make it something else.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like I'm not being a hater either. I understand everyone has their own things, but I also think like more so trend oriented stuff, because right now everyone is doing like the light pine floor with, you know, this, that, the other, and it's all and like the big marble slabs, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm telling you, it is going to be the same thing that granite and steel appliances was.
100%. 100%.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
Fully.
Or like the gray floor. I mean, that's going to be that eventually.
Yep.
And there was a horrible time, I'll say this too, in Southern California, specifically during the 80s, when they took all of these charming houses from the 1950s and 1960s and they tried to make them look like houses that weren't from the 1960s and 1950s, and it doesn't work, because we talk about this when we're judging the neighborhoods and stuff, which I guess we've been having a lot of real estate talk lately. But when you're walking down, we did it when we were walking the dogs when I was at your house this past weekend, and we're like, terrible, horrible. Like, you should not be able to tell where the original house begins and the addition begins.
And the
you know what I mean?
No, I know. Wait, I remember too on my fireplace in my old house. Beautiful Spanish fireplace, huge arch window, old blinds. Like it was like the old wooden blinds. It was perfect. And then I remember they had renter landlord special, painted the brick black and white.
Yes.
And I went in there and painted it back to
I remember
like
that.
a brick color.
Well, is that not the worst thing too, when you see a house and they have a beautiful fireplace and then they're like white, painting it white.
Yep.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Do it, Mama.
But you know what I will say too is, as much as like 80s, 90s hate, I kind of love. There's things that I love about that, like that big, I forget what it's called, but they're like the cubes. They almost look like ice, but they're like in a wall. Those are coming back. They are coming back. Incredible.
Well, and I love
take them out.
Yeah. Anyway,
what do we know?
What do we know? If it makes you happy, it makes you happy.
Doesn't make me happy that people tear out built-ins that are from the 20s.
No.
Ah.
No. I'm like, if it's been there for 100 years, then just leave it.
Just leave it, girl.
Leave it alone. Well, we probably sound like some real assholes right now, Madison.
We sure do.
And I don't care, but we do have an asshole. That says, am I the asshole for refusing to give my late husband's dog to his daughter from another relationship?
Okay.
It says, I'm in my 30s. I was married to Pete, 40-year-old male, for 6 years. He passed away about 8 months ago, and it's been hard. Pete had a daughter, Lily, 19, from a previous relationship. Lily. She lived with her mom in another state. They weren't super close, but they talked. She visited us maybe twice a year. Pete had a dog, Bear, a 7-year-old lab mix. He had Bear before we even got married. That dog was his best friend. They were always together, and when Pete passed, I was a mess. The only thing that kept me going some days was Bear. He would just lay with me and let me cry. I feed him, walk him, pay for his vet bills, and he sleeps in my bed. It's been me and him for 8 months. Lily came to visit for a few days to help me pack some of her dad's things. She saw Bear and started talking about how much her dad loved him and said she wanted to take him back with her to her mom's house. She told me Bear is a piece of her dad and she deserves to have him. I told her no, calmly. I told her I love Bear too and he's my companion now and she can come see us anytime she wants to. She lives in a small apartment with her mom and 2 cats and Bear is used to a big yard and a quiet house. I also reminded her she's in college and busy and I'm home most of the time. Leaving Bear all for her mom or something? She's Pete's blood and I do want to keep the relationship with her. Let her visit us sometimes, but she got really upset. She said I wanted everything. She said her dad would want her to have the dog. I'm sure she's always welcome here to see Bear, but I can't say for sure she'll always want me coming to her to see Bear if she keeps him. Her mom texted me later to talk about it. She said Lily really wanted to keep the dog. I feel bad because I know she's grieving too, but I can't imagine losing Bear on top of everything. I feel like it would break me. I also think the dog would be stressed being moved to a new place with cats. He's an old guy. Am I the asshole? Am I just ruining my relationship with my stepdaughter?
No, fuck that. You keep Bear. This girl can't come in and say, "Oh, I want the dog," when the dog has been yours. No.
No, and they were together for 6 years.
No, that's Bear's
her and this
mom.
Pete guy. They were together for 6 years. Pete passed away 8 months ago. No. Absolutely not. End of discussion. Bear is 7 years old. He only had the dog for a year before getting with this woman who's writing this. Like, that is her dog too.
That's her dog. You're the mom. You're Bear's mom. And you pay the vet bills. If it went to court or something, like, you could prove it's your dog.
Yeah. And not only that, but it's like Bear's in a good situation, which the daughter should realize. She's a college student living in an apartment with her mom and 2 other cats. And Bear's used to having a house and a yard. No way.
Get
Crazy.
lost. Yeah.
And this next one says, am I the asshole for not wanting my grandmother to be at her own son's celebration of life and blaming her for his death?
Oh, shit.
For context, my stepdad just passed this Sunday on the 12th. He had a serious drinking problem to the point that it was one of the #1 reasons my mother was divorcing him. He was supposed to be going to treatment this Tuesday for it until he passed. My grandmother is very aware of this. This isn't something new, and she knew he was trying to quit and was going to treatment for it. Every time he tried to quit drinking, she would get him to start drinking again one way or the other. I can't say why, as I don't know why she would, but every time my stepdad relapsed, she was always the cause. Giving it to him, she's even put alcohol in his drink before, etc.
What?
The night before my dad passed, she used her own money to cover $100 worth of alcohol for him. She had even been bragging about it to my mother the day before he passed away, and her reasoning was he was in pain and he needs to relieve it. This wasn't anything new. My stepdad had severe back and hip problems and used it to stop himself from hurting. It had been a common excuse. When he passed, he had gotten severely drunk, and this was confirmed by the autopsy as well as my grandmother and her husband that he was clearly drunk before what caused his death happened. My entire family blames her for his death, me included. No one wants her there, not even me. She's been making his death all about her, something she does with everything. She's tried to make my own birthday about her before when the attention wasn't focused on her. She's also been picking fights with people on Facebook. I don't know what they are or who they're with, as I don't use Facebook ever. My mom put it up as a vote if she should be allowed to be there, but out of all of his 4 kids, I'm the only one that said she could be there. I want her to be allowed there as it's her son, but I also said that her husband isn't allowed. And if he's coming, I don't want her there. I don't like him because he's not family, never will be, just some creep she married 3 years ago. I feel like a jerk for not wanting her there in the first place and blaming her. I know that me blaming her is part of grief, and I'll stop blaming her eventually. I still want my grandmother to be part of her son's celebration of life, despite me and my family's feelings about it. I guess I'm just looking for advice on what to do or an outside perspective more than anything, because it's for her son, but the entire family hates her at the moment and doesn't want her to be there at all. So am I the asshole?
No, I think this lady sounds like an asshole.
She sounds nuts, and I would give anything to see the Facebook fights that she's getting into, because I love a Facebook fight.
Totally. I understand, like, has a sickness too and is a full-blown enabler, but at some point it's like, okay, that's fine. You made your choices, but like, we're gonna make the choice to not allow you to be there.
Yeah. She's definitely in the wrong, the grandma. Yeah. Because why are you giving your alcoholic son alcohol?
Multiple times. And this isn't like what we talked about with like,
hospice
I let them have a beer on their hospice. Okay, whatever. That's a whole different story. If she's sneaking alcohol into his drinks when he's trying to quit, it's like, what?
No, weird.
Replace alcohol with literally any other drug too. It makes it feel more, intense or whatever. Like, you wouldn't, no, she's an asshole. Bye.
Yeah, I don't blame them even if they didn't want her at the funeral.
I know. Messy. Okay, well, I have a listener email actually about a funeral also. Who would have thought on a show like this?
What?
All right, this says, "Hi, Spencer and Madison. My name is Haley. Feel free to use my name, and I have been a Geoff since 2021. I know, since the beginning. I've finally caught up to the most recent episodes, and I knew I had to write in after Madison spoke about funeral crashers. So, do I have a story for you? 3 years ago, my aunt passed away from a stroke. It was sudden, but also not unexpected, as she had had a few of them in a span of 5 years. The death was pretty tragic, though, as she was babysitting her 6-year-old grandson, who was found sitting next to her on the couch.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know. He thought she was sleeping and put a blanket on her because she was cold. Anyway, my father, who was her brother, did not handle it well. A week before the funeral, he was pretty heated towards my cousin, my aunt's daughter, as she took full control of the funeral planning and made sure everyone knew she was the one doing it. Let's just say she has always made herself the center of attention and thrives on it. She was also not the one with the son. That was the other sister, who also had a restraining order put against her about 4 months before their mom's death from the first sister. So taking charge of the funeral was genuine, but also for her own self-esteem. Come to the funeral, my whole family had no clue if my dad would show up. He had been drinking the night before, no surprise, and my brother was concerned that morning because he was saying crazy stuff about talking to God, etc. So it was the middle of the service. My cousin is doing the ceremony herself per my aunt's wishes. She was fully prepared on what she wanted said at her funeral by one of her daughters. And in walks my dad. He comes barreling down the middle of the main aisle, dressed in a tie-dye t-shirt, unbuttoned Hawaiian shirt, giant straw hat, patterned knee socks, and tie-dye Crocs.
Hell yeah. He's going to Margaritaville.
I know. He proceeds to yell, "Stop right now!" in the middle of the service, goes up to the casket, kisses my aunt, says, "Love you, sister," and turns to everyone and yells, "I'm sorry." He's amazing. "Whoever wants to come with me, party at my place."
Oh my God, I love him.
Then he barrels back down the aisle, still yelling, leaving the funeral home where we can still hear him yelling through the walls out to the parking lot. The room is dead silent. My uncle and 2 older cousins follow him out, where he accidentally hits my uncle in the face with his truck door and had all 4 doors open, like squealing out of the parking lot.
Party dad.
No cops were called, but the phones were out and dialing. I have never been so ashamed in my life to be related to someone. I do not have contact with him now for other reasons, but it was one of the most insane things I have ever witnessed. I'm sorry for laughing. I know that if it happened, like, I know it's a serious situation, but he's pure comedy. He's
pure comedy. And I agree. I would be mortified and I'd be pissed off if this happened at somebody I loved's funeral. But if I was just in attendance at a funeral and that happened, I might be following him out. I don't know. I don't know.
I have there's more.
Okay.
I apologize for my story being so long, and there's definitely a few other details that happened later on, including him being arrested naked that night.
Oh my God.
Thank you both so much for bringing joy to my day as I listen all the time doing house chores as a stay-at-home mom. You guys are amazing. Much love, Haley.
Oh,
Haley, we love you.
Love you.
Thank you for writing in and telling us. That is an amazing story. And rest in peace to your aunt. I'm sure she was up in heaven looking down like, what the fuck?
She probably knew. She's like, figured something like this would happen with him.
Fully.
She watched him from above. She watched him put on those Crocs and get into that car and make his way over.
You know what? If it makes you feel any better, I too have tie-dye Crocs. I do. And I wear them.
She does. Oh my God. Well, you're up first this week, girly, which means that I should have a little side bitch.
Yes. Let's hear it.
Okay. It's actually brutal. I was like, damn. Okay. So it's from the Hamilton Spectator from Tuesday, July 31st, 1917. And it says, drank oxalic acid. London, July 30th. Mistaking oxalic acid for Epsom salts.
Oh my God.
Alfred Hill, age 21, is dead at his home, 21 Beetle Avenue, where he resided with his brother Ernest. He was a painter and had come here some time ago from England. Yesterday, he drank some of the acid, believing it to be the medicine he wanted, and in a short time, he was in agony. He was taken to Victoria Hospital, where he died. Now, I didn't know what oxalic acid is or like what it would do to you.
Well, okay, wait, hold on. Before you tell us, Epsom salt, the only reason you drink that is if you were constipated, right?
I think so. Like, I think, yeah. I mean, there's a variety, I guess, of reasons that somebody would consume Epsom salts, but never this, because according to my research, swallowing oxalic acid causes immediate tissue destruction, severe calcium depletion, and kidney failure. According to Medline Plus Medical Encyclopedia, if you ingest it, it leads to mouth and throat burns, severe abdominal pain, and vomiting. Systemically, the acid binds with the body's blood calcium, rapidly depleting levels and causing heart irregularities, convulsions, and cardiovascular collapse with fatal doses as low as 5 to 15 grams. But the burning, I'm just like, imagine you think you're taking something to cure and it's just fucking burning you from the inside.
Horrible way to go.
Horrible way to go. 21 years old too. Young.
Young. Wow. Well, rest in peace.
Rest in peace to him. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, you're going to tell us what had you spinning in your coffin this week.
Yes, I am.
All right. We'll be right back. And we're back. Girly, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Well, girly, dead letters had me spinning in my coffin this week.
Okay.
Okay. I've lived in my house, my current house, for over a year now, but I still sometimes receive mail addressed to the woman who used to live here. And Ruth is dead. So we still get letters though for her. And like not just junk mail, but like actual like handwritten letters that maybe have like a birthday card in them or a Christmas card. And I have a stamp now that says return to sender because of how often it happens. But I have to write like return to sender. It gets me thinking like, okay, did these people just not know that she's passed on? Like, you know, what the hell? And this happened a lot too at our last house. We would get mail all the time. I don't think the people before us had passed away. I think it was just because they had moved or someone got the address wrong.
Yeah, like I'll always get Christmas cards addressed to families who have lived at houses, you know?
Right. And you have to like return to sender. But like, what if they don't have a return address on them? Like, where do those letters go? So that sent me down a rabbit hole of one of the strangest government offices that America has ever created. And now all over the world they have them. But it's literally called the Dead Letter Office.
It's like the Dead Poets Society.
Yeah, totally. And ironically, a dead letter doesn't necessarily mean that the recipient is dead always. But it is a term that the Postal Service uses for something that can't be delivered or returned. And I believe that it's changed to undeliverable mail now, but they have full offices full of letters that can't be delivered. So before we get into the actual dead letter office, I need to tell you why it existed. I can't tell you how many times I've written the wrong fucking zip code and mail has still gotten to where it needs to be because we have a great postal service now. But in the late 17 and 1800s, the postal system was nuts. People didn't have like standardized street addresses yet. House numbers weren't like a common thing. And we didn't get a zip code until like 100 years later. Like zip codes are fairly new. So people were constantly also moving west, changing jobs. I mean, we know like you could be a scammer. You could be kind of anything you wanted to be. You could change your name and move away and say that you're a ghost in an armoire and make a living with that and then get found out and move. And to make matters worse, a lot of people who did write letters weren't putting return addresses on stuff. And then as America grew, so did the amount of undeliverable mail. And so it got so bad that Congress was finally like, we have a big fucking problem. Like we have so much mail and it's illegal to open somebody else's mail. Like, so we don't know what to do with this. So in 1825, they officially created the Dead Letter Office. Now there's dead letter offices all over, but I think the biggest one I want to say is in Atlanta, Georgia. But let's just say a letter is considered dead. Then it heads to Washington, D.C. And this is where employees were hired to be kind of like these little detectives. They were called dead letter clerks. They first would have to try to decipher handwriting and see if they could make out where the letter was intended to go. So they needed to figure out, like, if someone wrote Springfield, well, is that Springfield, Illinois? Is that Springfield, Missouri? Is that, you know what I mean? Like, there's different.
Girl, if you were in there, nobody would have gotten a thing. You're like, Philip, yay.
I know.
Never heard of this before. Let's just slide it under my desk and go on lunch.
No. But if all else failed, then they got to open the letter. And they got dream, right? Wouldn't that be incredible?
In that era, because nowadays mail, it sucks. It is so boring. It would be like a scam or a fake bill or a fake letter from the IRS or an actual bill, none of which I want to open.
None of my business.
I want to open the one that's like, Dear Harry, my husband's gone again for the summer. Would love to see you for a rendezvous. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Fully. I know. By the late 1800s, it was, I believe, almost all women who were hired because the Civil War sent men away. So it was mostly women. And I think about that. I think about like how many letters were sent from someone off at war to their family that like somebody never received because the handwriting wasn't great or they didn't have actual house numbers or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So the Dead Letter Office received envelopes containing cash, jewelry, stock certificates. Could you imagine what those are fucking worth now?
Yeah.
Deeds to things, photographs, military medals, Victorian era, I think locks of hair and like family heirlooms, basically anything you could have stuffed into an envelope. And the federal government had to keep very detailed records of all of these things and do everything that they could to reunite them with their owners. While a lot of the items, I think, eventually found their way home, there's hundreds of thousands that didn't, which feels so insane to me because who would have thought that the post office has like the largest collection of untold stories, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that feels so haunting to me. And today there's millions of letters that are just dead, that are undeliverable. Birthday money or big news. I mean, God, Christmas cards. Okay, but you have to listen to these two newspaper clippings that I found because one is just kind of funny, but then the other one is like, whoa, I didn't think about that inside of a dead letter office. So This first one, it's from 1957 from the Martinez News Gazette. It says, Dead Letter Graveyard. Union, New Jersey, May 28th. Mail carrier Albert Mueller is in trouble with postal officials because he turned a cemetery into a dead letter office. Postal inspectors investigating complaints that residents failed to receive expected letters found quantities of mail in Hollywood Cemetery. Authorities said Mueller confessed dumping the mail, but only on days when it was too heavy. So we have kind of a dumbass criminal, I guess.
Yeah.
But then this one's crazy. This is from the Evening News, 1934. Pittsburgh, June 14th, accused of mailing a bomb that blew off one hand of a Washington dead letter office clerk, John Lucas, giant Wildwood miner, is shown here in Pittsburgh jail. The bomb, hidden in a book, was addressed to Lucas's estranged wife in Czechoslovakia, United States agent's charge. So it's also a dangerous job. You don't know what the hell you're going to get.
With anthrax, too, during all of that.
Fully, I know. They wouldn't put a return address on anything.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so while I was researching the dead letter office, I came across something that immediately reminded me of the wind phone that you talked about, Spence.
Uh-huh.
And was actually inspired by the wind phone. And it's one of the most beautiful projects ever. I was reading it and like teary-eyed when I was reading it. It's called Postal Service for the Dead. It is so sweet. So in 2021, this woman named Janelle Ketcher lost her mom. And like so many people after losing a loved one, there is still so much to be said. Well, one morning, and it was actually the morning of what would have been her mom's birthday, she had this overwhelming urge to go to the store and get a birthday card for her mom. But not only that, she wanted to be able to mail it to her. So she started looking online and she was like wondering, is there a place where I can mail this? Like, not that it would obviously get to her, but like just the act of doing it, right? And there wasn't. So she created one. And she rented a real P.O. box and she called the project Postal Service for the Dead. And it turned into this huge thing. People can write to anybody that they've lost. It's P.O. Box 31412, Los Angeles, California, 90031. And there's different little rules. So if you do a blank card, it means do not read. Like it says if you don't want our team to read your letter, please leave the backside of the envelope blank. Then option 2 says a heart, which means read my letter but do not share. If you would like our team to read your letter but do not want the contents shared publicly, please mark the back of your envelope with a heart. And then the last one is marking it with a star, which means they can read it, post it, share it with people. There's an Instagram called Postal Service for the Dead that has these letters. And it is the sweetest thing. I wanted to read you one. It's from 12/28/23, and it's like written on college ruled, lined paper. Dear Mom, it's been 1.5 years since you've passed on. I never realized how much I would miss you. The visits, the phone calls, and holiday cards. You never missed a birthday. My world is noticeably sadder without your voice. You were always the peacekeeper in the family. It's because of you I am the person I've become. Good husband, good brother, and hopefully a good son. I miss the random phone calls we shared. You were always interested in what was going on in my life. I always felt loved by you, always. I hope you felt the same way. Loved. You must have loved Dad a great deal to put up with his constant anger and bad moods. I think of you often, and I will never forget the last things you said to me. Your loving son. And then the name is anonymous. But then there was another one that I saw that was like an actual Valentine's Day card for a son. And like the mom and dad both signed it and like wrote in it and then mailed it. And I just think it's so incredible. Just like that act of, and like to you and me, I know we really appreciate like a handwritten letter or a card being sent in the mail. And I think it's such a sweet tradition.
Oh, it is. I have, anytime anyone's written us a handwritten letter, or like when we've done live shows and gotten them from people, those are things that I still have to this day. I love a handwritten letter. And actually the Valentine's one's funny because after my mom died, when I got back to my apartment after being up there for a couple weeks, I had in my mailbox a Valentine from her because she would hand make Valentines. And so I still have that, of course, but it was funny because it was after she was gone that I got it. And so it was like a Valentine's from beyond. Wait, what is that Instagram account called? I want to follow it before I forget. Oh, I found it. Postal Service for the Dead. So cool.
Isn't that sweet?
I love that. I do.
Know. So we've got the Dead Letter Office and we've got Postal Service for the Dead.
Ugh.
And
love it.
That's that this week. Your little mail.
Who knew?
Who knew? I know.
Oh, so sweet. All right. Well, we're going to take one more quick break. And then when we come back, I'll tell you what had me spitting in my coffin this week. And it was absolutely not sweet. Not sweet. Not sweet.
Okay. Okay.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Well, girly, I'm not sure if you've seen this yet. There is this wild story floating around right now about a man named Matthew Lewinsky who was recently sentenced to life in prison after murdering his ex-girlfriend, a woman named Courtney Winters.
Okay. No, I haven't seen this.
Courtney, her name, I think they called her Jerry, but her name is Courtney Winters. And so that's just how I'm going to refer to her throughout my coffin spinner. The murder itself, terrible, but it was what happened afterwards that really sent everybody spiraling.
Okay.
Now, this occurred in December of 2020, like peak COVID era. I read a lot of sources for this one, and it just was, it's kind of wild. So I'm bringing the cult leader a little bit this week.
Okay.
So Courtney and Matt, they had been in a relationship, but ultimately they ended up breaking up in November of 2020, when I'm sure a lot of people were breaking up because they were all of a sudden stuck together during this weird time.
Totally.
Well, we're gossiping. About a month after their breakup, okay, Courtney shows up at Matt's condo. And she tells him that she had just gotten an abortion with his baby. I don't know if they were fully expecting a baby or really like when that was in relation to their breakup. But when she went over there and told him that, he apparently was super sweet about it. And he was like, okay, like, I'm going to go make you some tea. So he went to the kitchen, made her a cup of tea, brought it out to her. But when he comes out of the kitchen and walks into the living room, Courtney is butt naked, sitting on a lazy boy recliner chair.
Not a lazy boy.
Yeah. This was like very bizarre because it's like she came, delivered this horrible news. He's like, oh my God, I'm gonna go make you some tea. Comes out of the kitchen and she's just sitting there naked, which is so weird. Okay. Broken up also, mind you. Yeah. Whatever happened next, it led to this big verbal argument where they were just screaming at each other. Things got super out of hand. We don't obviously know what was said, but I mean, it seems like she was displaying some pretty erratic behavior. Mm-hmm. But they're screaming at each other. And then according to Matt, she's just like egging him on, will not let it go. And that's when things turned from verbal to physical. Matt said that Courtney was like slapping him and then she bites him. So he grabs her by the neck and then he just chokes her out. He keeps choking her and then eventually she loses consciousness. And according to an article from Macomb Daily, as he's like choking her out, I guess she was like egging him on, like, come on, do it. Kill me. Like, allegedly.
Okay.
Well, in a tragic turn of events, Courtney ends up dying due to the strangulation, but Matt didn't call the police. He didn't call the morgue. He didn't call anyone. And instead, he takes her body and he proceeds to just bring her into the bathroom and places her into a bathtub.
Okay.
She didn't stay there. Eventually, I'm not exactly sure on the time frame here, but he tried to dismember Courtney's body, but I don't think fully dismembered her. And then he ended up leaving her partially dismembered corpse in the basement of his condo, wrapped in tarp.
Oh, no. Is it like a basement that everybody uses too?
From what it sounds like, it seems like it was his basement entirely because it didn't mention like other neighbors noticing a smell or anything like that. Apparently that move happened a month after she had died. So for a full month, she was sitting in the bathtub in his bathroom. Which,
oh my God.
I'm like, okay, I need to know, was this a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo? Like, was he showering over her? Like, I'm like picturing, I'm like, what's going on?
Which also doesn't make me believe his story at all of, oh, I was really sweet and I made her tea and then she was naked. Yeah.
Well, hold on. You might go back and forth a little bit.
Okay. Oh, damn.
So that basement would end up being her final resting place for 7 months. For 7 months, her body is just down there. Yes. And that is what made headlines because it was everywhere. Like, man lives with ex-girlfriend's body in his basement for 7 months. He's living with her corpse. We'll cut to July of 2021. We got to talk about how this all got found out. One day, Matt is wandering around the condo's like complex, like the common shared areas, and he's in his underwear and he is just mumbling to himself. He looks totally out of it. He's incoherent. And one of the neighbors sees him and is like, I'm calling the police. Like, this is so weird. So the neighbor ends up calling the police. And when the police get there, they find Matt. They talk to him. They're like, this is bizarre. This person, maybe he needs medical attention. We don't know what's going on. So they take him to the Henry Ford Macomb Hospital where he's then evaluated. I believe they probably put him on like a psychiatric hold at that point. And it was while he was there in the hospital that Matt's sister goes over to his condo to check on things. And she walks in. She's the one who discovers Courtney's body in the basement. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I understand, like, okay, something happened with my brother. He's been taken to the hospital. Like, I'm going to go check the apartment, see what's up. But I did think it was weird. Like, why would she need to go down to his basement? And I can't speak for her, obviously. But I did read several articles that claimed that in recent years, Matt had sort of cut off contact with his family, and he was allegedly in possession of some important family items like memorabilia, heirlooms. And so his family, I guess, had to like sneak in sometimes to like try and get items back. I don't know. So I'm like, maybe that's what she went down there looking for. I don't know exactly what she was looking for, but I can tell you that she probably wasn't expecting to find a dismembered body wrapped in tarp. Horrifying. Especially 7 months it was there. Like, that's wild. So on July 28th, these two detectives, Michael Chirco and his partner, Joseph Burns, they go down to Henry Ford Hospital where Matt is, and they talk to Matt and see if he can explain what's going on. And pretty much right away, Matt is like, I know probably why you're here. Like, I know what you found. And according to court documents I read, both of the detectives claimed that when they were talking to Matt, he was very lucid. He was very aware of what was going on, and he also had a calm demeanor to him. And Matt told the detectives about the fight. He told them how, you know, it is fucked up. Courtney initially, I guess, had come to Matt one day after their breakup and announced to him, like, hey, I'm pregnant. Like, I just wanted you to know. And I think he was like excited about that.
Okay.
Looking forward to that. Like, maybe this was going to be a thing. Maybe they were going to get back together and have this baby. But then later she comes back a couple days later, right? And she's like, just so you know, like, I had an abortion. Like, I could see that sending somebody over the edge, right? Or putting him into this, you know, emotional craze. Not an excuse, obviously, whatsoever, but it's fucked up. And so I was thinking too, I'm like, okay, well, like, was no one looking for her for those 7 months? Like, they knew she was in a relationship with Matt. What's going on here? So I guess she was not on speaking terms with her family, allegedly, at the time. At least according to the articles I read. I believe this was also referenced during the trial, but that she was not in contact with her family. She had also cut them off. She also had a wild history of fraudulent behavior. She has an arrest record that apparently details many aliases she used throughout her life, alongside 6 different social security numbers that she was in possession of. And she also had 10 different dates of birth. Again, none of this means that she deserved what happened to her, but it was included in the trial, and it was a huge focal point for the defense during the trial because they're like, our client like was pushed to the brink, basically. That's how his defense is painting this. They're like, our client was just another victim of hers, basically, and then he finally snapped.
Right.
It also makes me kind of buy the story that maybe she was a little crazy, like she was just naked on that lazy boy chair. Like,
that's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because acquaintances of the couple also testified, like friends of theirs, that Courtney was dramatic, that she was verbally abusive. And this is backed by even a police report from months before the crime occurred. A police officer testified at the trial that Matt had actually called for assistance one evening after Courtney had freaked out on him and allegedly threatened that she was going to shoot him and like blow his brains out.
Oh, shit.
Again, from what I've read, I feel like that was the point his defense team was trying to drive home to the judge and the jury in the courtroom. But the prosecution was like, she's not on trial.
Yeah.
If she's a horrible person for not having contact with her family, well, maybe Matt's a horrible person for not having contact with his family. And there, you know, it's kind of a he said, she said. But she can't say anything. Like, she has no voice in this. The prosecution was also like, this wasn't just a momentary lapse in judgment. This was a 5-minute strangulation. And at any point, he could have released his grip. And this was supported by the county medical examiner. Her name is Dr. Mary Pietrangelo. And she testified that in a situation like this, Courtney had 30 seconds to go unconscious and then 5 minutes at least for her to die. So that means that he had to have been strangling her for at least 5 minutes, clarifying that he clearly tried to, like, he knew what he was doing. He took her life and he could have stopped.
She stopped being a threat at probably 30 seconds.
Exactly.
Then, yeah.
So then it's overkill, right?
Right.
Well, on July 14th, Matt ended up being sentenced to life in prison with no possibility for parole. He's, I don't believe, ever given a solid explanation for why he decided to live with her corpse for 7 months. He did mention at some point, at least according to the articles that I read, that he didn't go to the police initially because he didn't feel safe to do so. And he also didn't trust the police. And some of this is thought to be because she had been allegedly verbally abusive and whatnot to him in the past, and he had gone to the police for help and they were unable to do anything.
Got it.
I don't want to make him sound like a victim at all. He's a murderer. He did what he did, and he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. And that's what happens when you take somebody's life. But yeah, it's very bizarre to see, like, whenever we think about a case like this of someone living with someone else's corpse, because there's sometimes an explanation, like that woman that we talked about recently, right, who was featured in the Many Lives of Benjamin Kyle, where she's living with his corpse in there because she thought the birds were going to come in and eat it. So I always get curious when I see headlines like this of like, well, what's the reasoning there? Is it because we've heard many stories between Cult Leader and Obituary of like Carl Tanzler, right?
I think of him all the time. Yeah.
Just heartbroken over the loss of somebody. And there's been other ones that we've talked about where people are just so in love, they can't imagine letting this corpse leave the house.
Right.
But I found a ton of stories, and I'm going to do a coffin spinner, maybe even next week, with a compilation of some of these stories about people living with corpses. But I have to share some of them with you right now because there were two that I found that I'm just like, I have to. I don't want to wait. And the first one comes from the Milwaukee Journal. This happened on Saturday, December 31st, 1910. It says, lived with corpses, Ohio man's family dead 3 weeks in home before he is aware of the fact.
Oh, what?
I'm not buying this one. I hate this man. Cleveland, Ohio.
Austin.
Cleveland, Ohio. The decomposing bodies of Mrs. Herman Mielke and her infant child were found in a room on the second floor of their home here. Mielke told the police he had been sleeping on the first floor for 3 weeks and did not know his wife and child were dead.
He did it.
He is being held pending an investigation. Mielke, who is a paroled workhouse prisoner, said that he and his wife quarreled 2 weeks ago because he kicked their collie dog and that he had not seen her or the child since. He said he supposed she had run away.
Okay, so he murdered them.
He murdered them fully. I want to know what happened to the dog.
I know.
Hopefully he got out of it. And then there was the second one from the San Antonio Express News from Saturday, March 3rd, 1984, that says, hermit lived with corpse. Quote, Washington, a rural recluse lived for a month in a tiny tin-roofed bungalow with her dead brother's body and a small fortune, police said.
Oh.
Dolores Owens of Temple Hills, Maryland, said her reclusive 79-year-old neighbor, Myrtle Deaton Varney, asked her if she could buy some beans to eat. Owens offered to take her to a grocery store, but Varney said she didn't want to leave the bungalow unguarded. When Owens suggested that Varney's 91-year-old brother, James Edgar Deaton, could watch the house, Varney replied, oh, he's dead. And then she just kept talking like it was nothing, Owens recalled of the fence post conversation 2 weeks ago. Owens called police, who found Varney sitting in the dark house. Deaton was dead in his bed. Police said Varney had noted the date on an envelope found on a dresser. Died January 17th, 1984. In the house, police said, was evidence of assets in excess of $350,000, including cash, uncashed Social Security checks, savings and checking accounts, and B-series war bonds from World War II.
Wow. But she didn't kill him, right?
She didn't kill him. He just died, and she's like, I'm living with the body.
Yeah.
I'm living with the body. She said, oh, he's dead. Which hers was probably like maybe a cognizance thing, but also she knew he was dead. So I'm like, I don't know. I think she just did it. I think she was just living there with him.
Or just like a grief. I don't know. Because wouldn't she want to cash all that shit?
Yeah. I mean, I try and think about it, and I'm like, I mean, I know firsthand that grief does fucked up weird things to you, but like, I don't know. Okay, if you and I lived in an old house and we're Grey Gardensing it up, right? And you die.
I wouldn't. You wouldn't want to tell anybody.
Yeah, maybe not.
You might get curious.
I might be
okay.
I might be lonely.
Yeah.
Like, girly. I'm still doing the podcast though. I'm like, what had you spinning in your cup?
So am I. Yeah. It might be fun.
Girl, I'm taking you on tour.
Girl, I have to tell you, actually. You know that squirrel that we were feeding the other day?
Yeah, dead.
Dead.
Fuck.
Stiff. Beautiful. My neighbor said...
Was it hit by a car?
No. I don't know what he was killed by, but I think it might have been like he ate poison.
You should bury him.
Well, he's gone today.
Oh.
And my neighbor was saying he'd make a great lamp.
Oh, rest in peace, little squirrely girly.
I loved him.
I gave him a nut when I was at your house the other day.
He would take nuts, and he was so sweet.
I was trying to do, and I don't know if this is real or not. I saw a TikTok that said if you go like this.
He loved that. He loved it.
That it will make squirrels come to you. And so we were both standing on your street, like.
We killed him because of this.
We casted a spell. We didn't know.
I'm sorry, squirrel. Oh, no.
We've really done it this time.
We're going to look suspicious, too, because we were out there.
Yeah, they're like, we asked the neighbors to pull their Ring camera footage to see if anyone knows what happened to him. And we're just out there like, come here.
I came inside last night because I was walking the dogs. And I wasn't paying attention. They were sniffing the grass. And then they were sniffing a little too long. And I was like, fuck. And I pulled them.
Oh, that's the worst when there's like a dead rat or something on the street. Or like here we've had frogs out there. And there was this one frog that hot dog, a big motherfucker. And the hot dog loves to just like try and go roll on him.
Rub their body.
Little sicko.
God, I know. So.
Well, we need to write an obituary for him. Maybe that could be your side bitch next week.
You know what? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do it.
And speaking of obituaries, it's just that time.
It is just that time. Well, thank you for that coffin spinner. They're terrible, but
horrible. Love them.
Okay, so I have one sent into us. It says, hi, Madison, Spencer, pups, and significant others. My name is Brittany. I've been a loyal Geoff for many years now and just love you both so much. Thank you, Brittany.
Thanks, Brittany. Love you back.
Love you back. Long story short, my grandfather, who was my favorite person in the world, passed away earlier this week, and it's been an emotional roller coaster for my family.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. But I asked my dad if I could write the obit for him, and he was more than happy to let me do so, which makes me so happy.
Oh my God, I love that.
Your pod has really helped me cope with his loss and find the light in it. So thank you so much for all you do, and please don't ever stop. Photos of my sweet papa attached along with his obit. Please feel free to use all names involved if read. Love you both so much, Brittany. And I'll show you the pictures after this, Spence.
Ugh.
And it's a great obituary.
I'm so proud of you, Brittany, for doing that. It's hard to write an obituary for someone.
It is. And first of all, taking that off your family's shoulders, but also probably being excited about it, because not excited obviously, but like feeling inspired to do so,
or like more well equipped maybe.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think that we're great. I think we're really great for doing that.
Yeah.
Connie Ray Smith, lovingly known by a rotating cast of titles including CR, Dad, Pop, Poppy, and Pawpaw, decided to check out a week before his 79th birthday, just in time to avoid another disappointing football season from his beloved Washington Redskins. We're pretty sure that's no coincidence. Born in Concord, North Carolina, on October 20th, 1946, CR lived a life full of laughter, loyalty, and the occasional loud outburst at the TV during Duke basketball games. He was a man who believed in two things above all else: that the refs were always wrong, and that there was no such thing as too much reality TV.
Oh my God. Okay, love him.
Connie, love. From Love Island to Big Brother, though he claimed he only watched for this strategy. He was preceded in death by the love of his life, Mary Alice Smith, who's surely saving him a seat and reminding him to take off his shoes at heaven's door. Theirs was a partnership full of devotion, banter, and more laughter than most couples see in a lifetime. We take comfort in knowing they're together again, probably bickering lovingly about what to watch on Heaven's DVR. CR is survived by his son and co-Blue Devils fan, Chris Smith, and his partner, Pam, who are always by his side, and by his two grandchildren, his pride and joy, Brittany Clark Tyler and Christian Smith, who will forever carry on his humor, warmth, and stubborn streak. He lived his life with grit, laughter, and love. And if we learned anything from him, it's that a little humor can carry you through even the hardest times. And that you should never, ever switch teams mid-season. So here's to CR, our Pop, our Poppy, our Papa, forever cheering on Duke from the best seats in the house. We love you and miss you dearly. Hug Mama for us.
Oh my God, Brittany, rest in peace, CR. That was so well written. You did such a good job.
You did an amazing job. It was so good. Perfect length, perfect amount of laughter, perfect amount of love, perfect.
Sweet.
So good.
Good little clips in there. Really, really gives you a good feel for him. So
definitely.
A+ obituary.
A+.
Well, I have one. Well, a little different.
Okay.
From the Hamilton Spectator, Tuesday, July 31st, 1917. I was like reading obituaries. The champ was in here earlier, so he was working on something next to me in the office. And I was like, whoa. It says, well, I'll read you the headline after. It says, Detroit, July 30th. Preferring death to serving in the ranks of the American pigs, John Meshack, 29 years old, a German chemist and university graduate employed at the plant of National Oxygen and Machine Company on Oakland Avenue and believed to be highly connected in Germany, blew himself to bits by exploding a tank of compressed oxygen.
Oh, shit.
And then it said dramatic suicide as the headline. But I was like, he didn't want to fucking play the game. He said, no. I'm not going to be here with the American pigs. I'd rather blow myself up, bitch.
Yeah, and he did.
He did. Man of his word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Scary
and truly a dramatic way to go out.
I know.
An explosive ending.
Explosive ending. blew everyone away.
Went out with a bang.
Went out with a bang.
Those are the only analogies I can think of.
That's all I got. I know. First of all, my head is just compressed air, so I don't know.
It just explodes. Can you do that, Austin? Make her head explode. All right. Well, we have spun in our coffins.
We have bitched our obituaries.
That means it's time for some dumb
ass
criminals. Who you got?
Oh my God. Okay. You know when you screenshot shit in your phone and then you look back 4 years later and you're like, oh, I haven't talked about that.
Yep, fully, yes.
Well, this is one of those.
Okay.
And it's just diabolical. And even People magazine talked about this woman. This is her mugshot. She is not happy.
Pissed. She looks like a... Oh, really?
Yeah, she's an asshole.
Oh, tell us.
Okay. Hate her. Okay. This people.com article says, like, I was like, wow, you're this. Well, you'll understand why it feels personal to me. A Connecticut woman has been arrested after police say she defrauded her husband. And that's not why it feels personal. Hold on. I have to verify I'm a human. Okay.
I hope you pass.
I did. She defrauded her husband out of around $600,000 over the course of 20 years and convinced him that he had Alzheimer's disease to cover up the alleged theft.
Oh, the ultimate gaslighter.
This is insane. Following a months-long investigation, guess what her name is?
Is it Madison?
No.
What is it?
Donna.
Donna.
Donna Marino, 63, was arrested on October 27th, the East Haven Police Department said in a press release. She was charged with first-degree larceny and third-degree forgery. Through the investigation, it was determined that Miss Marino would forge her husband's signature on his pension checks, Social Security checks, workers' compensation settlements, and other legal documents before depositing the funds in a secret bank account without his knowledge. Miss Marino advised investigators that she was able to hide her fraudulent activities over the years by convincing her husband that he was suffering from Alzheimer's disease.
Girl.
She further stated that she believed that convincing him that he had Alzheimer's disease would prevent him from going to the bank, ultimately to discover the low balances on his accounts. Marino was held on a $25,000 bond and appeared before a judge on October 28th per the news release.
What a monster.
A fucking monster. It goes on to say, Donna stated she was able to hide these fraudulent activities from him by convincing him he had Alzheimer's disease. Also, she said she was using the money to help her family.
It doesn't matter why you're using it.
It does not. And then about him, it says he just can't believe the trauma he suffers.
Oh, I'd sue her into the ground.
I know. This was 2021, so maybe I'll be back next week with an update about her.
Would love an update.
Maybe a little sentencing or something.
Well, my story comes out of Pocatello, Idaho today, and this happened, or was reported on at least, on February 13th of 2001 in the Daily Illini. It says a 46-year-old female elementary school principal was arrested for defecating on a police officer's lawn.
Okay, well, what did he do?
The woman admitted to defecating on his lawn 21 times, as well as 5 times on a neighbor's lawn.
And why?
I
Why
don't
did
know.
she do that?
But they kept her anonymous. We'll never know.
They did?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know. I wanted to know more. We love a little dookie girly, and I wanted to know why she did that.
I want a video.
I'm like, did he pull her over? It was 2001. People were videoing less.
I know. I bet she had a good excuse.
Probably. Yeah. Your Honor, she's innocent.
She's innocent. What if she just
I've
had
been
a
pulled
problem?
over by some real assholes before that I'm like, I would love to shit on your lawn.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Fully.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you're ever going
I
to try
know.
and put me on jury duty, I'm like, just so you know, I really want to poop on a
Fuck, I have
lawn.
jury duty in like 2 weeks.
You do?
Yeah.
You have to go. I want to know.
Well, yeah. I already postponed it.
Damn.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it'll be something crazy.
Oh, something exciting.
I hate that you have to call every single day to see if you have to report.
Yeah, we like to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Especially this girl, if she's got to wake up at 9, be there at 9 a.m.
You have to call every night. Yeah, no.
Just show up
Not
there
doing
in your tie-dye Crocs
Yeah.
and your fuck King Henry VIII shirt.
I know.
And just be like, hi. Bring your microphone. Hi.
You never know, though. That could be a perfect juror. That could be what a lawyer's looking for. We don't know the case.
She's just the one, Your Honor.
Yeah.
My client's innocent. She'll tell you.
Imagine I'm not here for a month. I get sequestered and
some solo obituary episodes, I guess.
Yeah.
We got deadlines.
I know.
Oh God. Well, we don't want to. You don't want to avoid it too long. You don't want to end up as a dumbass criminal on the show,
I know.
Madison.
I know. Oh my God. Could you imagine?
Well, I'd love it personally. But that is it for the week. We'll be back next week with some more coffin spinners
And obituaries.
and dumb
Ass.
criminals. Goodbye.
Goodbye.